Hello, 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 Chicago worldwide. What's going on? Let's go. Intellectual Radio. It's your girl, Brandy J. The Alchemist, Chicago's number one empress. You know what's going on live. Another Wednesday. We started a little late, but we can still getting it going. The vibes are still high. You know, today's show is brought to you by yours truly, True Essence, where is a unique spiritual spa located 1605 West Roosevelt Road in Broadview. We specialize in pretty much everything: hair care, nail care, massage therapy, so much more. Go getters, where y'all at? Let's go. Yes, we are a credit restoration company specializing in credit restoration as well as trade lines and just get into the bag. So if you are looking to repair your credit and or build up your credit score and or even make money, please holla at your girl. You can check me out on all social media platforms. That's Brandy J underscore. That's Brandy 3 Ys J underscore. Also, you can check me out on Intellectual Radio every Wednesday, 6 p.m. What's going on, guys? I'm so happy to be here with you guys another Wednesday. This week was rough, okay? It was rough for me. You know, it was just very challenging. The kids getting out of school. It's hot outside, Memorial weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend as well. Barbecued, enjoyed the sunlight. It was very beautiful in Chicago. So I really have no complaints. We didn't hear too much about too much overkilling. So I guess that's a good thing. So, you know, we have to congratulate our people when we are doing good. You know, it is some crime out there, but I think we did pretty good overall, considering we had a beautiful weekend. So coming back to you live again on a Wednesday, today's topic is what characteristics defines a high value man and a high value woman? So yes, I'm going to say that again. What characteristics defines a high value man and a high value woman? Also in that, can they coexist? So for me, what defines a high value woman is someone who knows her self-worth. She's connected to source energy, someone who's kind and compassionate, and also someone who's intelligent and just a go-getter altogether, no matter if that's getting a bag or taking care of the home life or just taking care of her man. Like, she don't play. She's a go-getter. So for me, that to me, that what signifies a high value woman. So of course, as always, I would love for you guys to tune in with me live every Wednesday, 708-223-8953. You can give us a call and just check us out. And also, hey, we want to hear your feedback. What makes a high value man and a high value woman? Because we heard the commentary with Kevin Samuels, I believe. And there's, you know, obviously some different sides to it. And while I don't necessarily agree with his delivery, I do, however, understand some of his points when it comes to a high value man and also a high value woman. And in today's time, where I guess there's a shortage of men or quality men available per the Black woman or any woman, rather, we say there's a shortage of good quality men. So let's get to the core of what makes a good quality man, what makes a good quality woman, you know. And I'm going to start off with us ladies. Okay. So I feel like I have the right why. One, because I'm a woman, and some of these things I have struggled with in the past, and some of these things I see some of my loved ones and other people struggle with. So I feel like before we even kick off, I want to make it a very open and transparent platform where everyone can just be honest and pretty much give their open, honest opinion. But to jumpstart that, even for the men, to be open and transparent with us ladies, because we want to hear their feedback, we also too have to take accountability. So since I got the mic, yeah, I got the mic, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take accountability for us ladies. So some of the things that I feel like we can get better with is the sense of entitlement. You know, and it's nothing wrong, even if you are or consider yourself to be a high value woman. And we'll get into that a little bit more as the discussion progresses. But the sense of entitlement, just because you look good or just because you take care of your own or just because you have this, doesn't necessarily mean a man should just come and lay out the red carpet. You have to be who you have to already be what it is that you're attracting. Okay. And there is no entitlement with it. When you understand your role as a woman, then you understand the yin and the yang, and the masculine energy and the feminine energy are just as important. Neither one trumps the other. They are both important. And there's no reason for you to come in with this sense of entitlement because you take care of your own bills. You're grown. You should. because you look good. You're a woman. You should want to look good. There is a such thing as beauty, and there's collateral that comes with that. And I mean, it is a beautiful thing to have beauty aesthetically, but there's more to it. It's not just the aesthetics that makes a woman beautiful. It is also her inside as well. And that haughtiness, the nose in the air, I don't care. It's nothing wrong with being confident. So let's not confuse entitled with, being confident. Confidence is necessary, but to have that entitlement, that haughtiness, that aura of I'm me and look at you, that's not okay. And that's not going to get us to our end goal. It really won't. So let's take our role, ownership in our role as it pertains to that. Also, it's like we also have to hold up the standard. I feel like us as women, we are the status quo. We are the status quo. Just as if you have the gold and you have things that's already, hey, fit stated and rated, this is worth this and that's worth that. We as women, I believe that we are the highest standard. And I'm not just saying that because we are women. I'm just saying that because we bring so much color and joy and vibrancy to any situation. So with that being said, we have to hold that honor. We can't dishonor ourselves, our legacy, our children, our even husbands. A lot of us, it's a city girls trend now. And I'm not clowning or downing the city girls because, hey, they do pretty well for themselves, right? They're able to take care of themselves, get to the bag, they're inspiring, and so on and so forth. But let's just be honest, most of the city girls are not even living a lifestyle of which they're projecting, even in their songs. And real last give about it, that kind of stuff. Come on, you don't care about a man. Half of y'all do care. Half of you guys do want to be married. Half of you guys do seek spousal support and so things like that. So no, being in that trend is not going to really be beneficial, because last time I checked, I believe Young Miami and whoever, they're in long committed relationships. They're not even living a lifestyle that they're even singing or dancing or portraying. So we have to make sure that we're not being assimilated into a agenda, propaganda, right? That is not for us. Let's make sure that we uphold the standard. And there is such a thing as having feminine energy and knowing how to operate in that feminine energy. It doesn't mean that sometimes we do have masculine energy as well. I feel like as a man and a woman, you should have both. Yeah, because some men will go get their nails done, and some men will think, hey, that's not masculine, but who's to say it's not? I believe it is. A man to take care of himself, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you not masculine. Being able to balance out the energies that are within, that's what makes you masculine. That's what makes you feminine. Sometimes I can get real gangster and quote some lyrics or whatever. Y'all think I was, Foxy Brown in here. That's me operating in my masculine energy. And then sometimes I can be sweet and soft and well-rounded and intuitive and all of those things. That's me operating in a feminine. So I do feel like some of our men and women are a little off balance as it pertains to the roles, the yin and the yang. And that's very important for us to get in alignment with what that truly looks like and break it down, which I'm going to get into next, so that we can operate in our best and optimize the best of our energy, because really that's what it's all about. If we ultimately seek to have a indefinite role with our spouse or significant other, it's best to understand how you show up in that role, right? So yeah, let's get into it. So to me, some traits that qualifies a woman to be high value. And let me say this disclaimer: just because you may not have all of these traits, some of these traits I may have, some of these traits I work on, or whatever to have you, I don't want you to feel, be it man or woman, as if you're invaluable because you're working on some of these roles, or even you may not even be aware of some of these roles. So don't feel like, I don't want you to beat yourself up. More or less, it's just to be educated so that we can make the most of the future, right? We can make the most of tomorrow. So let's get in tune with it. So to me, some of the traits that makes a high value woman is, one, her knowing her self-worth. She loves herself. She's in tune with herself. She's connected to source energy indefinitely. She puts that first. And anyone that comes into her energetic field, they already know that. They're already in tune with that. They can feel that. Secondly, is she's kind and compassionate, no matter who you are, no matter if you work for the post office or you run in a post office. She's kind and compassionate. And that is just across the board, and you'll know those people, those women, when you see them. Also, she's committed to her personal development, be it spiritually developed, whether it is financially development, or whether it's physical development. She is committed to her personal development. So if it's spiritually, she's reading the word of God. She's watching certain podcasts or groups that's, speaking the type of language she wants to speak. Financially, she's making sure that, hey, I'm budgeting out my household finances. I'm budgeting out my daily intake. I'm making provisions for the future, fixing my credit. Holla at your girl, Brandy J. We got it. I had to say that, y'all. But whatever that is, she's making sure she's on top of that physically, whether that's meditation, whether that's working out, whether that's doing yoga. So she's incorporating all of that into her lifestyle on a daily basis because she's committed to her personal development. Another thing is also self-awareness. She's aware of who she is and what she brings to the table. She's empathetic towards others. Okay. And she has a great emotional intelligence about herself. She just isn't quick to respond. To me, what makes an exceptional wife is one who just isn't quick to respond. Because let me tell you something, man, they can just sometimes just go all like, and you have to not be so quick to respond. You have to honestly just take it in and just knowing, hey, when I'm going to pocket this and save it for later, or, I'm going to discard of that. No, we got to address this right here, right now. So knowing when those moments come and just knowing how to be emotionally intelligent in those moments as they arrive, because that's very important. That's so important, especially if you're talking about a longevity type of a relationship, right? Which brings me into my next point, maturity. A high value woman is mature, not in just how she dresses, not in just how she carries herself, not in just how she talks, but in every aspect, she's mature. And maturity is being a foresighter and knowing exactly the type of caliber of woman you should be. See, if I know, a husband, a man, he wants something of value. He wants something that, hey, listen, when I go here, I go there, I don't have to worry. Listen, maturity is a big part of that. If you guys are going into different business deals together or different functions and networking events, you want to have the maturity to be able to handle yourself in any room. The maturity if his guy was coming over to talk, to know how to handle yourself as a wife, to know how to dress, to know how to talk, to know how to be. That's very important. That's again going back to the longevity, right? Also, she's not afraid to speak her mind. A high value woman is not afraid to speak her mind. She speaks her truth. She owns her truth. She walks in her truth. She is just all about it. And everyone adapts into that environment because she sets the tone. She doesn't allow anyone else to set the tone for her. She sets the tone as far as what her value is and how she speaks her truth as far as what she will and won't tolerate in her universe, right? All right, because we all got our own universe. But when you coming into my universe, this is what I will and will not allow. And a standard is a must. A standard is everywhere. There's standards where you go outside. You got to drive a certain type of speed. You got to stop at that light. You got to yield to this. You got to do that. So having a standard as a woman is a necessary, and not being afraid to speak your truth as far as what your standard and your boundaries are, right? Another aspect of a high value woman is she's passionate. Oh my gosh, like I love this so much because passion is the crayons of a woman. Think of a man as being the infrastructure of anything. Like they are the law and order, right? They bring in the law and order. They are provisionaries and foresighters. Whereas we as women, we got the crayons and we just bring in all these different colors. And those colors are passion, whether it's passion for cooking, passion for providing for our family, passion for taking care of our kids. Some women are out here really live homeschooling. Like, man, big ups to you ladies, whether it's in fashion or just being a big boss mom. Maybe your husband at the crib take care of the house and you holding it down in the corporate industry. That's big things. And you are exuding confidence with your passion, meaning you're smiling. I just love to see women smiling. Like we walking down the street, she's smiling, looking beautiful. I'm smiling, we looking beautiful. And then that passion connects to me, connects to her. And then she goes and give it to the next woman and the next woman. Next thing you know, we all around here smiling, enjoying our feminine energy, enjoying who we uniquely are. And that passion is oozed back over to our man, and that gives them enough energy to build up and become the man that they are truly designed and destined to be. So passion is a big part. Passion is also in sex, right? Okay, so come on, when you having that intercourse, that intimacy, passion is a huge part of it. If you are run down and can't take life, and this person that, and this person this, you can't be passionate, which means you in turn may not have a high sex drive. So for some of the fellas or ladies who got little complaints in the bedroom department, passion is a big part of it. So ladies, please do not lose yourself in your journey with taking care of your kids, taking care of your family. Keep your passion alive, because that's what's going to fuel your husband, fuel your family, and fuel your legacy, right? Next is also she has class. She knows how to carry herself, conduct herself, and everything. She has class, and that class is just so remarkable. Lastly, is that she takes care of her household, whether that's cooking for her household, cleaning, setting up, orchestrating order in her household, whatever have you. She is about order, and she takes care of her household, and she gives honor with that. Also, is vulnerability. So she's also vulnerable. And so being transparent is very important, whether you're a man or female. You want to be transparent with your partner, and vulnerability is a huge part of that. And lastly, I know I said lastly before, but lastly is the magnetism, right? Her magnetism is, oh my God, the energy is there. Her aura is on point. So yes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Brandy J Show. Your name and where you from?
Hey, this is Monique calling from Chicago.
Hey, Miss Monique, how are you?
I am good and you?
Good. All is well. Thank you so, Monique, for calling. And you would go get us, right? Okay, all right. Let's go. Let's go. So, Miss Monique, we are going to get into the financial aspects. I know you got some gems to drop on for us as far as the finances, but I led the conversation. Today's conversation and topic of discussion is what makes a high value man and a high value woman. So, what makes a high value man and a high value woman, and also can they coexist? So, you're going to open up with answering that question, but we're going to end with, which I'm going to get to you guys. Don't worry, I'm going to ask you guys this as well. Is does finances play a role in being a high value man and woman? So I would like you to end with that question. Does finances play a role in being a high value man and woman? And then, yes, lastly, drop us some gems as far as this credit restoration, boo. Let's go.
Okay, so yes, as being a high-powered man or woman, I caught the back end of your conversation. Yes, I believe that we can coexist. I believe you were speaking about being vulnerable, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I believe we can coexist, but we do have to be vulnerable with one another. We got to be upfront with each other. Can't play games with each other, with each other, right? Just be upfront with me.
Yes.
Be upfront with me. But yes, we can definitely coexist. We can definitely coexist.
So you feel like the masculine and feminine woman can coexist, especially if they're both high value.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, lastly, is do you feel like finances play a role in that? And then, of course, some of your gems as far as keeping the bag in order.
So yes, I do believe finances plays a role. Finances plays a role in everything, right? It's crazy. I was just having a conversation with one of my friends earlier today about finances and how they play a role in our relationships every day. Um, you need to get everything out on the table. Talk about finances because finances will make or break a relationship. I do believe, right?
Yes.
And what was the last question that you said? Drop some gems about what?
Yeah, so give us some gems. I know you were on a show a couple weeks ago, and we just everyone absolutely loves some of the tips you gave us as far as credit restoration and what our company brings to the table. So of course, open up with our company and what we bring, and any tips that you want to provide before we conclude our conversation.
Okay. So yes, we partnered up with a company by the name of United Credit Education Services. Yes, most of us were not taught financial literacy. Okay. Like I was stated a couple of weeks ago, I graduated, I got a scholarship all the way to college. They did not teach me how to balance a checkbook. right? Most of us have more money than we do. I mean, more months than we do money. Okay, and we also have become accustomed to having bad credit. Most of us don't even know that having bad credit is more expensive than having. It's more expensive, right? Because of those interest rates that they give us. Okay, like me myself, I was accustomed to not even reading the fine print until I got around the people that was doing better than me.
Yeah.
Right. I knew that one day I wanted to do something better, and I had to get around people that were doing better than me. They say if you want to be a millionaire, you got to hang around millionaires. But if you hang around people that's not doing anything, then what? You're not going to do anything either.
Yes.
Right. So my credit was, I didn't know about it. I just knew that if I got a job and went to work, I was accustomed to paying with everything with cash. Not knowing that my credit score has more buying power than $100,000 in cash. Most of us don't know that. An 800 credit score has more buying power than $100,000 in cash.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
I actually partnered with the company. I got my credit together because I wanted to do something for me and my family. Because again, this was not taught in our household. We have become accustomed to having those 500 and 600 credit scores, not even knowing that your credit score goes all the way up to an 850.
Yes. Say that, sis. Say it.
Yeah, they don't even know that their credit score goes all the way up to an 850. So just positioning yourself, getting your credit together, get you some property. I think we touched on property and real estate
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago as well, right? Get you some property. Obtain you some assets. Make your assets cover your liabilities. We want those nice cars and everything. I have a saying, baby, have a building to cover every asset. Have a building to cover your car note. Have a building to cover your lifestyle. Just have a building for everything.
Yes.
And leave that legacy for your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you so much, Queen. You dropped some gems as usual. And it's like they both coexist because being a high value man or a high value woman, you want to make sure you're financially stable. And like you just said, finances plays a huge factor in any type of dynamic here on earth, especially in a relationship. They say most of marriages fail because of finances. People think it's infidelity and all this other stuff. No, it be really finances. And again, going back to the disclaimer, even if you are not financially there or credit wise not there, just acknowledge where you are and get in order, and or link some companies like ourselves with goal getters. You can always check me out on IG. That's Brandy J_Brandy 3 Ys J_, and also Miss Monique. Can you let them know your social handles, Miss Ma'am?
Exactly. You can always catch me at Monique Credit Queen on Instagram, and my name Monique Rivers with an H on Facebook.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are all about bringing people to in alignment with their divine purpose, and also getting to the bag and breaking generational curses. And Miss Monique always has great tips and tools that we can integrate into our daily lives as far as finances. And more than that, I love how you gave us your opinion as far as the high value men and high value women, because again, finances does play a direct role with that. So thank you again, Miss Monique, for tuning in with me another Wednesday. Again, we're going to be checking you. You're going to check us out next Wednesday, Miss Ma'am.
And I will be here.
All right. All right. Until then, much love and peace, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much for having me.
Yes, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Miss Monique. Always dropping them gems. You gotta love her. You gotta love her. So again, we are goal getters. We are a credit restoration company specializing in credit restoration. Also, again, getting you to the bag. If you have any questions, and or if you want to tune in live and ask Miss Monique questions, feel free to give us a call at 708-223-8953. Again, check me out on IG, Brandy J_, and also Intellectual Radio. Let's go. So getting back into with this, we wrapped it up with a high value woman, and we lastly ended with magnetism, her aura being on point, her being able to walk into a room and attract what it is that she needs. Why? Because she's already that herself. What it is that she's looking for, she already shows up as that, and she knows she's enough. Right? So naturally, everything that she wants is just going to naturally gravitate. And you have to know your worth, right? So we don't want to leave a man out. We love you, my kings. I love you guys. I love me a black man, and I hear some women, they a little bitter, but I haven't had a bad experience with black men. Now, I have had some bad experiences, which we're not going to get into right now. We'll say that for the book later. But overall, I have had great experiences with Black men. That's from my dad to my uncles to my cousins, my brothers, or whatever have you. Even my ex-husband, like we are still cool, like friends to this day. It's like I love and appreciate the Black man. So of course, I want to make sure you guys are just as equipped as we are, right? So to me, what makes a high value man is one who understands his role, right? He understands his role and he walks in that role, right? He's a provider and a provisionary. Like he provides and he makes provisions for his family. So yes, providing is one aspect, and to me, that's a huge aspect. I was raised with my mom and dad. Yes, my mom always worked. She always was a go getter, entrepreneurship spirit, and he supported her in all her endeavors. But one thing about my dad, he didn't play when it comes to being a provider. Even still to this day, if I'm lacking in anything, like he gonna be like, "Listen, do the kids need shoes?" Even though me and his father, their father is cool and well equipped to take care of them, my father and my mom, and just my father is just a great provider. Even to this day with my mom, they've been married for what, 25, 30 years now. Just being a provider, and not just that, a provisionary, being able to see, a foresighter, to see ahead, to see if there's anything lurking, like, oh, are we heading into a recession? Oh, we are heading into a recession. What can I do to make sure that, as me being the provider for the family, to make sure that I can set things up so that this recession won't affect us, right? Because he's ahead. He's ahead of times. When you see the little ducklings, I don't know if you guys, I sit at parks. I'm like, I'll sit at parks, guys, and watch the sun and watch the birds and the little duckies at the ponds and things of that nature. So in observing the nature of that, I saw ducklings crossing the pond, and all the little ducklings will cross, and the mom will be ahead of the ducklings. The father, I'm like looking, he just over there moving his head, and he hasn't gotten in the pond with the rest of his family. Why is that? I had to ponder on that. What he's making sure there's no prey. He's making sure that they're good. So if anything was to happen, I guess he can let them know. He's being a provision. He's being a foresighter. So to me, likewise, us as being you guys as being men, you have to be a foresighter. You have to be ahead of your family. You have to pierce into things and make sure that your family, one, is provided for, but also protected, right? Also protected. So another thing is that a high value man demonstrates with his actions and not his words. Because I've seen a whole lot of men who can talk a good game behind the phone and seem like they got it together in person, but when it comes down to the daily deeds and we really peel back the layers, it's really not there. And there are some men who do exemplify that. So with that being said, you have to lead with your actions and not your words, right? So lead by example. Let's not do a whole lot of this and what women and all that. I know Kevin Samuels get pumped y'all up a little bit, got y'all saying it with your chest and stuff. All right, simmer down, young man, simmer down. Okay, King, I ain't gonna tell you young man. King, simmer down, because yes, you may want to make sure that your actions line up with your words and the projections that you put out into the atmosphere. Also, emotional intelligence. A high value man is emotionally intelligent. Okay. He knows how to handle himself. And I can't tell you how important that is, especially as a man. You guys carry a lot of energy. You guys have a lot of energy. Talking about magnetism, like you guys, your aura is like, oh my gosh. Like, even I'm a grown woman. My dad say certain things to me. I'm like, what? So, just that in alone, and the whole world reveres you. Like, come on, much respect. With a man, you have a hefty hat. So I know I don't take that lightly what you guys have to do on a daily basis. But that's all the more reason for you to have emotional intelligence, especially as it pertains to having a relationship and or a significant other. And, women, we are a little bit more sensitive, right? So you may want to just make sure that you are not always reacting to things and pushy and doing all the, crazy things. Always try to be within your emotions and contain it, because it's nothing worse than an emotional man. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna say this because this is coming from a queen, guys, and other queens have heard it. There is nothing worse than an emotional man. If you want to turn your girl off, they say the quickest thing to turn a woman off is, one, make her bring out her wallet. And or be emotionally imbalanced. Oh my gosh, those are two major turn offs. We just can't. So we as women, we're emotional as it is. Our kids are emotional. It's a lot of emotions flowing down. You guys come in to stabilize things. So when you're coming in being overly emotional, I mean, who's stabilizing? Who's the anchor here? So, we look to you guys to be the anchor. Again, you guys are the infrastructure. You guys are deeply rooted in God's foundation and in the word. Not saying that we aren't, but again, we just bring the pizzazz. So when we all are learning how to operate divinely in our energy, then we can optimize the best of our experience together, right? Another part of that is not controlling. You shouldn't wear that. You shouldn't wear this. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't do this. Now, let me say this disclaimer, because I do feel like as a man or as a husband, you do reserve the right to say, hey, why? No, you shouldn't wear that. Or did you realize that your shirt is cut low, or that your butt or whatever? I do believe that that's fair. And we as women, we should be receptive to that, because again, going back to that feminine energy and maturity, a man respects a mature woman, and a mature woman doesn't always get it right every time. Not every time I get dressed or I say things, I get it 100% right, but I'm open to feedback, and I allow my husband to give me that feedback as long as it's being presented in an emotional, intelligent way. But in that, you're not going to control me. So it's a balance, right? You're not going to control me, yet your opinion does matter, and it is of high value to me. Another thing is, with as far as a high value man, is also he links with other high value men. He's affiliated with other high value men, whether that's vacationing together or getting money together or just a brotherhood altogether. They know the value of being around other high value men, and or men who are already where they would like to be, whether that's being married or financially stable. Get around people that are already in the atmosphere where you deem yourself to be, because they realize that, hey, that's going to be me soon. So a high value man is very smart to make sure he links with men who are on that same level. And then lastly is, can they coexist? Can high value women and high value men coexist? And who's the prize? Women might say, I'm the prize. Some of you men, y'all out here acting like y'all the prize. Okay, I see y'all. I feel like we all both are all the prize. Okay, we are all the prize, and yes, we all can coexist together. Going back to that initial thing, if you the way that we can coexist is by each person, the yin and the yang, knowing their divine role. Right? Once you know your divine role, then yes, you can coexist. And also being open to feedback, being open to change, being open to learn, being open to develop who you are. So for a woman, we may feel like we the prize because we look good. We got the divine energy. We cleaning. We taking care of the kids. We providing for the house. We taking care of the household. The men may feel like, hey, he's the prize because he's providing, he's protecting, right? So everyone has their reasons as to why they feel like they're the prize and they shouldn't settle, which no one should. Let's put that on the record. No one should settle. Going back again to that initial point, you should already be what you're looking for someone else. Someone else is just an added bonus, right? You already showed up enough in that energy to know who you are. And then when your significant other comes along, they just naturally get in alignment with it, right? So, and submissiveness. And we as women, we look at that word and say submissiveness. Ain't nobody got time for that. I do. I think we just tainted the word submissiveness. I wish I could have Googled the direct definition and kind of broke it down a little bit for you guys, but I'm just going to go off the cuff here. Submissiveness is not a bad thing. It's just to be submissive to God's word, God's will, which is in turn your husband's your husband's word or will for your life. And if you are married to that person, you just partnered with that person. So hopefully their thoughts and their views are in alignment with yours, but sometimes that doesn't always be. So submissiveness doesn't mean that I just totally relinquish all of my rights to you. No, submissiveness, it says, hey, I respect you enough because obviously I vowed to be one with you, and now since we are one, I respect your opinion and your outlook of things. So yes, if you're saying, hey, you want this instead of that, or this should be instead of that, I submit to understanding where you're coming from. Yet I still own my truth and my power, going back to that high value woman, knowing her truth and her worth. So yes, we can have open dialogue, and then from there we can have corrective change. And to me, that is submissiveness. And yes, even a man can submit to a wife, and a wife, yes, shall submit to a husband. I think it does go both ways. So, I'm just grateful we had this light, beautiful conversation. Some of the podcasts we had over the last couple of weeks been a little, intricate. We've been kind of working on the mind, the propaganda and the paradigms and all these beautiful things, but we still need practical everyday information. And relationships plays a huge role in our everyday lives, in our mental stabilities, in our childhood lives, our children lives, in our finances, resources, communities, etc., etc. So us learning how we show up in our energy and uniquely making sure that we work on that to make sure that we can optimize the best of our relationships and the best for tomorrow. Lastly, we said, does finances play a big role in a relationship? Absolutely. Like Miss Monique said, you can't do nothing without the money. So does finances play the most important factor? No, per se, but that is a huge factor. Again, 50 to 60% of marriages fail because of finances. Either somebody's overspending, somebody's not making enough, somebody's, whatever have you. So it's important to have finances really understood in your relationship. And even if one is not financially where they would want to be or where you would want them to be, working through that, whether that's with credit, whether that's with everything, instead of downing a person, work with that person and hold them also accountable. And there's nothing wrong with holding someone accountable in love, especially if you both have the same end goal, right? So this is your girl, Brandy J, checking in with you guys another Wednesday live, baby. Let's go. I love y'all for life. I was just about to tune out, but I just got another call in. So, hey, we got to keep this thing going, baby. We definitely got to keep this thing going. I love y'all for tuning in. Again, if you guys have any questions, any concerns, remember to tune in live, 708-223-8953. Any intro, let's get to this call. Let's get to this call, baby. Hello, hello, hello. Your name and where you from, Miss Lady?
Hi there. I am Keisha from Westchester.
Hey, Miss Keisha.
Hi
So,
there.
hey, how are you? So, I'm not sure if you was tuning in. So, today's topic, which I believe is kind of interesting, today's topic is what characteristics defines a high value woman and a high value man, and also can they coexist?
Yes, so I've been listening in and I agree with everything that you stated and understanding each individual person, understanding the value that they bring to the table. And I think it's important to understand that collectively we are teammates. And so there shouldn't be this, this big you and little me and so on and so forth. And each individual person understanding what was ordained, what was required, or what the Bible is real simple. It speaks to what we are individually required to do as a female versus a male, and operating in high value energy requires that men are operating in masculine energy, women are operating in feminine energy. Now that doesn't mean that you can't, switch gears, because all of us we're multidimensional, meaning we all have the ability to operate in different facets, and as you should in certain situations, operate in different facets. But I think it's important to understand that in order to really understand and be in tune with what's required to be a high value man and a high value woman, it first starts with God. God, then the man. The man is then required to be the leader, create order, to provide, protect, all of those things. And if a woman has that sense of security with the man, then she has no reason not to follow and order herself and also enhance the relationship based off of what she is divinely ordered to do. So I think the challenge sometimes comes into play where each of us, men and women, are guilty of this, showing up with this sense of entitlement. Because I'm the man, then I automatically get the role or the standard as the man of the house or the leader or the alpha male. No, that comes with responsibility. And I think the part that some of us miss out on, both men and women, is the responsibility that comes along with that title. The male is responsible for being the leader. The leader is responsible for creating order and essentially providing that infrastructure, as well as being a provider. Now, provider doesn't mean, and I don't want to get this misconstrued, that a man has to come into the relationship position to make all the money needed to take care of the household. No, but he does have to be positioned to provide. Now, the woman, the flip side of that, the woman, she has to show up in female energy. And it's nothing wrong with a woman operating in female energy, but also having a certain level of independence. She can still have her own. She can still, make her own money and so on, but she has to understand and know that ultimately, from the order for which God has established, the man is still the leader. The man is still the leader when it's all said and done. And a woman is coming in to enhance what a man is already providing as far as infrastructure, leadership, and vision. So if both parties understand and are operating fully in their divine energies, both male and female, then you have cohesiveness. So to answer your last question on whether or not they can operate, coexist, absolutely they can coexist. But it has to be a clear understanding and definition and alignment, and also respect for one another in your individual roles to know what is my individual role and how am I contributing to the family. And it's not a matter of you versus me. Collectively, we're a team, but we also have to know what that role entails. And you don't just show up being given that right. A woman, you're just because you're pretty, just because you have a nice body, that does not give you the right to show up with entitlement. You have to be who you expect to attract. And likewise, a man, just because you're showing up as the man and being physically appealing and all of those things, that doesn't mean that you automatically get the cape of being a male or a man and being the leader and so on. So I think that it's continuous conversation.
Yes.
It's clarity on who you are and whose you are.
Yes.
And then ultimately, laying the lay of the land, and then everybody being in alignment with what those guidelines are will ensure success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Keisha. I really, really appreciate that, and great feedback. And again, thank you for tuning in live. Until then, next Wednesday, boo.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys' feedback was so much on point. I am wrapping it up another Wednesday. Your girl, Brandy J, the Alchemist, baby. Let's go. Intellectual Radio. Y'all know I love y'all. High vibes over here. Until then, peace, love, and light, family.